All is it.
Yeah, Josiah.
Sir, good evening.
Yeah, evening.
I wanted to make a suggestion or like find out as to why you are using the free instead of the school's own that you can go for 3 hours non-stop, because I think the breakages wouldn't really help. I don't know if you get me right. It wouldn't help the class.
That's true. The issue here is, I think it all comes down to you, Sammy. Yes. So, like I was saying, expectation of x is the same as mu, the mean, which we have calculated in the previous slide. So when calculating the variance, you do not have to go and calculate the second term here. All you need to calculate is the expectation of x squared. Okay. And that one too is given by the formula expectation of x squared. Okay, is given by the formula summation x squared times what? P of xi. Okay, good. Now, what does this mean? This simply means because we are saying x squared times P of xi, then we sum. So this simply means we have to create another row, okay, where we will multiply the square of the x with the probabilities, okay? So somebody will say, okay, let me go and create a row with the squares of x first. Then when I finish, I'll multiply with what? The probabilities. Yes, that is also fine. So let's go and look at that in the table. Okay, so when we come here, we have, this is x squared, meaning you are squaring your x, okay? We are squaring the x here. So when you square 1, you get 1. When you square 2, you get 4. When you square 3, you get 9. When you square 4, you get 60. Then the next step is to multiply the x squared with what? P of x. Okay, so x squared with P of x. So this will be the multiplication. Let me change my marker to blue. It's now going to be s squared so it's going to be s squared times P of x, which will be this times this. Okay. So P of x is 1/6 times x squared. Okay, so 1/6 times 1 will give us what? 1/6. Then we go 2/6 times 4 will give us what? 8/6. That's 2 times 4 will be 8. Good. 3/6 times 9 will be what? 27/6. 3, 9 will be 27. Okay. Then 0 times 16 will be what? Will be 0. Okay. Good. Now that we have done the multiplication, the final step is to add. It says summation. So we'll add all the values we calculated. Okay. So that will give us expectation of s squared is the summation, right? So we are going to sum. Let me correct this one here. So it is x squared, not x2. Okay, so we bring the terms 1/6, this 1/6 here, 8/6, this is it, plus 27/6, plus what? Plus 0. Okay, so when we do that calculation, on your calculators, okay? Or what we know is 1 plus 8 will be 9 plus 27 will be 36. So 36 over 6 will give us a value of what? 6. Okay. So if that is the case, then it means that our variance is going to be what? Our variance is going to be, I'm going to write that here. So our variance is going to be, we have just found expectation of x squared to be 6. Okay. And then we earlier found the mean to be what? 2.33. Okay, and we are saying that we have to square it. So this will be 2.33 what? Squared. So 6 minus what? 2.33 squared. Okay, so look at it carefully before you come in to ask your questions. Okay. Yeah. So I think I saw Itiamwa in Itiamwa.
Okay. Sir, please, my question is, we just joined and I don't know the topic, the subtopic on which we are dealing with.
Probability distribution. We are on probability distribution and we are looking at the properties of the discrete random variable. Paul. Paul.
Please, my network wanted.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Paul, we are listening. Paul, we are listening to you. Okay, let's continue. Okay, he's back.
Sir, please, I said my network pointer.
Yes, so what would you like us
Sir,
to do? Yes.
please,
Okay.
I was like, my network pointer. I wanted to know how you had a 2.33.
From the previous page. Oh, banana. From the previous page, we found the expectation of x. Okay. Yeah, Paul. Paul Autry.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we are listening to you. Your hand is up.
Answer.
Okay, let's continue. I'm not hearing. Okay. So I think that is it. There's a chart. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, so I think with the points being made clear, please just confirm if the solution for the variance is clear enough. And let's move on to the next slide. So just confirm by giving me a yes on the chat page. And let me move on to the next slide. Okay. Okay, so then I think we have positive responses. So let's move on to the next slide. Yeah, so that is for the mean and the variance. So yeah, let me ask you to do this for me. So your class exercise now is we want to toss, let me go back to that example. So in the toss of 2 coins, okay. No, I will not even want to give toss of 3 coins. So let me say a fair coin is okay. So I want to use this one, this same example we used last week, okay? So instead of constructing the graph, I want you to find one, the expectation. You first have to find a probability distribution. Then the second question will be to find the expectation, find expectation of X, and also find the variance. Okay, find the variance of X in this example for me. So find the variance. Okay, so earlier I used var, v of X. So find the variance of the random variable, okay, in this experiment. So that is exercise 1. So try it at your end for me. I'm giving you about, let's say 5 or 6 minutes to finish it up for me. Okay, I guess we are done by now. So I'm picking your answers. Raise your hand and let me have your answers. If you are done, just lift your hand. Let me give you the room to. Okay. So whilst I'm waiting for your responses, I'm taking the attendance for today. Okay. Okay. So that is it for attendance. Yeah, some people are now coming in after I've taken my attendance. They are now coming in because they want to wait for attendance before they come to class. Okay. So be in class. I told you I'll take it in the next 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. Oh, anybody with a solution? Okay, no solution. Let's continue. So let's solve this. Yeah, so yeah, so the smart ones are now coming to class. I've already taken attendance. So you may join the class if you want. Yeah. So let's continue. We have we're told that we are observing what the toss of, okay, 3 coins, and we are observing the random variable, which is defined as observing a head. Okay, and as we are aware, this will be the random variable, okay, the possible values of the random variable. And then this will be the probability distribution. We looked at that from the previous class. And if you want the expectation, we said the expectation Okay, all you need is to find summation of x times what? P of x, okay, to get your expectation. Good. So in other words, we need to create another row, okay? We need to create a row here. Let me clear this first. So we create a row, okay, where we indicate what? We indicate, or better still, let me make this thing come up. So we create another row, okay, which will be x times p of x, okay. So x times p of x, which means we'll multiply this and this. Let me change my marker ink. So you multiply this and that. 0 times 1 over 8 will give us what? Will give us 0. Then the next one will be 1 times 3 over 8 will give us what? 3 over 8. The next one will be 2 times 3 over 8 should be what? 6 over what? 8. And then the next one will be what? 3 times 1 over 8 will be what? 3 over what? Over 8. Okay, good. Then the next step is to sum, but we are saying the expectation should be the summation. So we'll sum everything up. That will be 0 plus 3 over 8 plus 6 over 8 plus 3 over 8. Okay, good. So when we look at this carefully, 3 plus 6 plus 3, 3 plus 6 will be 9, plus 3 will be 12. So we have 12 over 8, right? But 8 goes into 12, that will be 1 whole number 4 over 8. So that would be what? 1.5, okay? 1.5. So 1.5. So that is the expectation of the process. And like we said, expectation is also the mean, okay? So if I want the variance for the variance of x, okay, so if you see me use var of x, is still the same as v of x, okay? The variance is the expectation of x squared, the expectation of x squared, okay, minus the mean squared. And like I said, the mean, we've already calculated it up here. So you don't need to calculate it. We only need the expectation of x squared. And to obtain the expectation of x squared, we'll have to, let me do this first. We'll have to, so I'm rubbing this side. So we have to create another row, okay? Or even 2 more rows if you like. And where we find x squared first, and then we do the multiplication. So we'll need this to thick. So we'll need yes, yeah. So we'll need a row x squared. We need a row x squared, meaning you are going to square x, okay? Then you need x squared times p of x. So this will give us x squared. When we square 0, 0 squared will be what? 0. Okay. Then 1 squared is what? 1. 2 squared is what? 4. 3 squared will be what? 9. Then the next stage is to multiply your x squared and the p of x. So that will be 1 over 8 times 0 will give us what? Will give us what? 0. 3 over 8 times 1 will give you what? 3 over 8. Then we have 3 over 8 times 4 will give us what? 12 over 8. Okay, 12 over 8. So let's keep it as 12 over 8 for now. Then we have the next one will be 1 over 8 times 9 will give us what? Will give us 9 over 8. Okay, so to get the expectation of x squared, we say you need to sum up the x squared times the p of x. Okay, so that you sum, that will be 0 plus 3 over 8 plus 12 over 8 plus 9 over 8. Okay, good. And then once we do that, we are going to get 3 plus 12 will be 15, plus 9 will be 24. So we have 24 over 8. Okay, 24 over 8 is equal to what? Is equal to 3. Okay, so we'll go and substitute the answer back into the equation here. So which means that we'll have this mark. Just follow. Let me finish first before you ask your question. So which means that the var of x, variance of x, will be what? Will be 3 minus the mean was what? 1.5. So 1.5. Okay, then we square it. So do the calculation at your end for me. 3 minus 1.5 squared should give us what? Whilst I take, I think I saw somebody's hand, Bismarck or so. Bismarck, now you can raise your hand and ask your question. Yes, Bismarck. I've unmuted you.
So from the variance, where is written 12 over 8?
Yes.
It should be, please, it should be 24 over 8 rather, because x squared, the x squared will be 4. And then when you multiply 4 by 6 over 8, you are going to get 24 over 8 rather.
You are multiplying x squared by p of x.
Yes, please. So you get 24 over 8.
Take your time and look at the p of x. Probability of x will be what? This is the probability. This is it.
I'm coming. So it's 3 over 8 rather. Okay.
So it should be 12 over 8. Okay. Are you okay now?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so colleagues have told us the final answer is 0.0.75. So that is the variance, okay, of the process. Okay, so if there's any other question you want to ask, please do so, because from here we are moving to continuous random variable. Yes, Joseph. Joseph, your hand is up.
Sir, I want to know how you got the figures for S square.
We are just squaring x values.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so I think we are all okay with the second example. So we are moving on. Immediately I'm seeing two hands up. Edmond.
Sir,
Yes, go ahead.
sir, please, I wanted to ask the 12 over x in the s squared p x squared times ps. Can't we simplify it to be 3 over 2?
No need, Edward.
Uh,
Edward, no need. That is not what I'm examining you on.
okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so that is it. We are all okay. So let me clear the screen. And once again, I must notify you within the next 4 minutes. Okay, our second 45 minutes session will be over. So we'll have to log back off in case you see me go off in the next 4 minutes. Okay, so I'll log back in immediately. Also do same from your end. Now let's go on to continuous random variable. Okay, and yes, before we go to continuous random variable, if I ask you to find the probability, so for example, in the example we just solved, if I ask you to find the probability, where is this example? Yes. So if I ask you to find the probability, okay, that x is what is less than or equal to 2, how do you obtain that? That's cumulative probability till you get to x equals to 2, okay? So that simply is the same as x, meaning the values of x should be less than or equal to 2. And those values are 0, 1, and what? And 2. So that will be p of 0, okay, plus p of, that will be small p, So let me write this properly. So that will be p of 0 plus p of 1 plus p of 2, okay, meaning probability at s equals to 0, which was what? 1 over 8, plus the probability at s equals to 1, which is 3 over 8, plus the probability at x equals to 3 over 2, 3 over at s equals to 2, which is 3 over 8. And then once we add that, we'll get what? 7 over what? 8. Okay. So that gives us the probability that x is less than or equal to what? Less than or equal to 2. Okay. So any question on this point? Any question on this point? Okay. Now,